Okay, there we go. Okay, good morning, folks. Make sure that we're okay over here. Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're continuing with our mimer, the Hasidic discourse.
Shavua Tov.
Hey, Michael, welcome, welcome. Nice to see you, or hear you at least. All right. Um, okay, so we're talking here that the love of your soul, as opposed to the love of your heart, the love of your soul is able to bring that which is transcendent and that which is internalized, and bring them together and unite them as one, which is quite something, because when you internalize something, it becomes a part of you. It's your mind, it's your heart, it's your understanding, it's your appreciation. That's when you internalize something. And then there's things that are beyond you. And they're not really and it naturally they're not internalized. Like, taking something on faith. Naturally, taking something on faith is not something that becomes a part of you, it's beyond you. Now, how do those two things come together and that they unite? Right? That which is transcendent of your soul and that which is internalized, a part of your soul, part of your, your reality. So this is what it means. Don't read it as ma, read it as mea. Don't read the verse, what does God want from you? Ultimately, what does God really want from you? He wants you to take that which is transcendent and internalize it and make it a part of you. Unite it, come together. So that's what it means. Don't read it as ma. Ma means what? What in this instance refers to malchus. It's interesting. Sometimes ma would be something transcendent. Depends on context. But here, like Moshe Rabbeinu said, "V'nachnu ma." And what are we? So that's a bittul, self-effacement. So self-effacement. So it refers to malchus in the soul. Malchus is the way the king, metaphorically, like he goes down to the people, taking care of the people, being there for them. That's an internal thing, right? Taking care of their needs from within. that's that's godliness of the soul. That's mamala that fills the person. Maya, on the other hand, don't read it ma, read it as maya, as 100, right? And that's what he said. Don't ask what God is asking from you. He's asking 100 from you, right? 100 blessings. But don't. But now we're playing on the terminology over here. Let's follow carefully. It's interesting. Don't read it. What? Don't read it. Excuse me. What meaning over here? The immanence of God, the way God is. Malchus, found within the world, found within me. But read it as 100. See it as 100. 100 is transcendence. 100 is transcendence. Not, I'll be quite honest, I'm not exactly certain how the 100 becomes transcendence, to be quite frank, because 100 is 10 times 10, 10 powers of the soul times 10. Each power with its seemingly would be a wholeness of the soul, but I guess it's the perfect number, if you will. It shows in transcendence, I think it's because it's three digits. 100. That's the way I think we've learned before that um, one digit is a lower level, two digits higher, three digits even higher. And I think based on that idea, it refers to um, transcendence, soiviv, encompassing. So, okay, so we have Malchus, which is immanence, the aspect of the king, the word of the king, and the way the king is present in the lives of the people. That's when Malchus comes down to be the creative force, right? So to vest itself, which is filling the world, as opposed to 100 that's beyond the world. So now, though, how do you create a union between the two? They're two opposite ideas. Ah, what's the difference between the word ma and mea? One letter, aleph. Ooh, the letter aleph. So, so this is all like a play on words. That's like fascinating. So we have one, which is single digit, but here it's a different one. It's one, but not a count, beyond the count. We have ma, we have the, we have what the ma, the nullification of what, and and that's malchus because a king is truly nullified to his source, and that's how he can be the creative power in the word of God in creating. It's also how a king takes care of his people with complete self-effacement, right? So engaged, vested in the people. Again, that's immanence. That's the way godliness fills the world. And then we have the 100 that's beyond. But, but what creates a union between two opposites like that? That's the letter Aleph, which is added to the 100. How can you have the two coming together? How can you have one come from the other? How can you have the Ma mix the Maya? Because you have the Aleph there. So the Aleph is unique over here. Aleph refers to a level in godliness that you don't call it transcendent and you call it immanence. And therefore, it can envelop the two, transcendence and immanence. It can bring the two together, unite them as one. In Hasidic geography, that's called Atik. Excuse me. Sorry. I didn't have my morning coffee yet. Plus, I've been up for a bit. Okay. Um, okay, that what does that mean in me and you? What does that mean? How do we have transcendence in me and then internalizing that transcendence should not be beyond me, but it should be internalized within me. It should like just inherently they're opposites, one from the other. How is it that I can live not be affected by this world, but yet be in this world? Right? You see, you see that, you know, so-called transcendent kind of people, they remove themselves from people. How could you be transcendent of a narcissist and still engage with a narcissist? You know, how could you be um, beyond the materiality of this world and yet engage in the materiality in this world? They by the human condition, they're mutually exclusive. So you see, the guy on top of the Tibetan mountain remove himself from the physical reality of this world because it's a contradiction. He's transcending top of the mountain. He ain't going down to the nitty gritty of this world. You're going to get sucked up by it. Right? How is it that you're going to, be transcendent and at the same time be able to deal with someone who's not so nice, maybe even a narcissist, and not be affected by it, and even be connected to that person? So, and not just not be affected, internalize. Should we remove ourselves from those people as much as we can? Well, yeah, yes and no, not necessarily. Not if it's a loved one in your life. could be a parent, it could be a spouse, it could be a child. Right? Did you remove yourself from that? That's what that's what you know, a therapist will tell you. Because therapists can only deal with, either get beyond them, transcend them, remove yourself from them, or you're gonna get sucked in by them. I'm using this more of a metaphor to use, how to deal with this on a personal level. It depends, what you're capable of and where you're holding. So, yeah, I want to be careful when how I project this. Okay. I want to make it okay, everybody, you know, I want to suggest that if you have a narcissist in your life or someone who's really negative, toxic, that you must deal with them. Not necessarily. This is, if you want the therapy part of this, right? This is more the concept, the idea. If you want the therapy of this, you have to join TRC, Tanya Rabbi Community. We didn't have last night. We're going to have Wednesday night, God willing. So that you have to join there. That's where we can take these ideas and, you know, personalize it. That's what we do. So you'll have to reach out to me about that if you're interested. It's usually Sunday nights, 8 o'clock. Okay. So the way to do that is what we call Mesiras Nefesh, self-sacrifice. Self-sacrifice means here, and that's what's important. Self-sacrifice, it comes from the core essence of your being. Because usually self-sacrifice will mean that you are transcendent of the human condition, right? Sorry, you'll have to reach out to Serenity. You'll have to reach out to me. It's not a link. It's a private group. So if you're interested, you have to sign up. So if you go to tanyarabbi.org, tanyarabbi.org. Actually, yeah. Sorry, one second. Okay. So that's for everybody invitation. If you're interested, um, so it self-sacrifice, not that you are sacrificing yourself, but self-sacrifice, um, that you give yourself over, that all your whole reality, right? Self-sacrifice here means you're giving yourself over, that your whole reality is just to fulfill the divine desire, that what God needs from you. That's it. So you give yourself over to that. And not only that, but you internalize that. And that becomes your identity. That becomes your understanding and your feelings. That you're, that, you know, in other words, not that I have feelings, of closeness to God. not that you don't have that. That's not what you are permeated with. You're permeated with um, that your whole being is only but to fulfill the will of God, to fulfill what God needs of me. And then transcendence, immanence, um, which is my understanding and my feelings. I understand intellectually that that's what I'm here for. I understand emotionally, or sorry, that feeds me emotionally, that that's what I'm here for. Even though the idea is itself transcendence, because the natural inclination of the person is to fulfill your needs. So yes, I need God in my life because then it will fulfill my my destiny. It will fulfill my purpose, right? So that itself is remarkable recognition. That's what we're talking about over here. So I'm not here merely to fulfill what I'm needed for. I need God for me. So God is here primarily so I could fill my purpose, my needs. Hmm. Very different notion, right? That's transcendence and um, transcendence and internalizing, because that's my whole being is that. That's a pretty powerful statement. All right, folks. To be continued,
Thank you,
this
Rabbi.
discussion. God bless you. Um, Rashi, God willing. Stay tuned. All right. Wait, I think, hold on, I think it's long today. Let me just take a quick look. Um, it's a bit long today, so I'm going to try to start as it's now 7:30. I'm going to try to start around 8:30. Okay. 8:30, God willing. All right. We'll see you soon, folks. Thank you.